teenager was about to be hit by a truck as he crossed the road. Suddenly a ray of white light came. Wait until you open your eyes again. He discovered that there was an extra moon in the sky. There are also some rare and exotic animals flying in the sky. Extremely realistic surroundings. Let him believe that he has traveled through time. At this time, he found a ferocious bear not far away, running towards him. Before he could react, I saw a group of wild wolves flying towards the bear. In no time, it became their delicacy. At this time, young Lin Shuhao was hiding behind the stone, trembling with fear. Don't know at all, there was a little white wolf staring at him behind him. Just when he turned around to look, but he found a little wolf behind him. He was so frightened that he ran away. I didn't run very far when I tripped over a stone and fell down. When he got up, he found a ghost in front of him. The consumption along the way has already made him hungry. Then he ate it without hesitation. I didn't expect that eating would not make people stop. Suddenly he found there was a giant snake in front of him staring at him. Before he could react, the giant snake opened its mouth and pounced towards Lin Shuhao. What's even more surprising is, giant frog hiding aside. He bit this giant snake in one bite. Lin Shuhao was lucky enough to escape the disaster. In the days that followed, he turned morning dew into water, hiding in a big tree. After these few days of careful observation, discovered that this forest has nothing but wolves. There are many dangerous creatures. It seems necessary to move to a safe place. 1 year later, Lin Shuhao looks like Moutai in the forest, wandering in the forest in search of food. At this time, his abilities have also been greatly enhanced. While he was having lunch, but he found that the little wolf was always by his side. But he's used to it. Suddenly a drop of liquid fell on him. He looked up. It was actually a gorilla attacking him. I saw the orangutan jumping up with a loud roar. He slammed into Lin Shuhao, but he nimbly dodged it. Orangutans are overweight. The branches cannot bear it. Disconnected and knocked down, it happened to fall next to Little Wolf. The orangutan smelled his blood. He stood up and waved his huge fist. Hit him. Bang sound. Fortunately, the little wolf escaped the blow. At this time Lin Shuhao rushed over, aim at the orangutan's eye and strike with a knife. The anguished orangutan roared in pain. Then he stretched out his hands to grab Lin Shuhao, threw it out violently. The angry orangutan ran towards him again. Lin Shuhao felt that he was going to be finished this time. Just when I was about to touch him, unexpectedly, a white wolf suddenly jumped out from the side. Hold him tight. Then the wolves came over. Lin Shuhao is like this, watching wolves bite orangutans. Gradually fainted. It turned out that the little wolf that had been following him, it's the Wolf King's cub. They are here to repay a favor. In the following days, Lin Shuhao joined the wolf family. Run and hunt and howl with them. Gradually, they also regarded Lin Shuhao as a partner. Time flies by. Lin Shuhao has been here for 30 years. Now kill a giant snake. For it, it's a matter of minutes. I saw it raise the knife and drop it. Insert into snake's mouth. Slide down the skin. Easy to harvest. Those terrifying beasts of the past. Now they are all prey for it. A living king of the forest. Do not know why. It's been a long time. It still doesn't look old. 1,000 years passed like this. This day, when the wolves competed with the orangutans for territory, Lin Shuhao was about to get up and chop at the orangutan. Suddenly a white light flashed. Took him away. Wait until he comes out again. Now, he actually came out of the underground city on Earth. He exudes the scent of a beast. Even the patrol team leader was so frightened that he trembled all over. Don't dare to move and see Lin Shuhao fall. The captain breathed a sigh of relief. Look at his strong aura. He couldn't help but have more doubts in his mind. Next he was sent to the hospital. After examination and doctor's inquiry, make sure he's fine. This is how he described the past few years of disappearing. The beast incident we went to. Too incredible. Even the doctor thought he must have made it up. On the side of the awakened authority, they retrieved Lin Shuhao's data. The previous team leader thought this data was very emotional. He's actually just an F-level awakener. How is that different from ordinary people? So how did he get through the portal? The director said it might be good luck. Hiding in Tibet. I accidentally found it when I returned, or something like that. After all, he has encountered such returnees before. The captain took out the hospital's diagnosis report. Said he was not mentally normal. I often fantasize about being a wolf. With doubt, Kui Shuing decided to meet him in person. As soon as I entered the ward, I saw Lin Shuhao eating with his hands. Saw someone coming in. Lin Shuhao knelt down and came close to him and smelled it. So familiar smell. Kui Shuing said, of course. The first person you see when you come back is me. At this time, he didn't feel it from Lin Shuhao. That breath of beast at that time. Is this all my illusion? Later in the conversation, Lin Shuhao said he is over 1,000 years old. Kui Shuing thinks he is mentally delusional. It seems that I am worrying too much. Then he asked Lin Shuhao to quickly organize the Awakened Person Administration Bureau. Materials about returnees. Confirm the signature. At this time, he smelled the pen curiously. So I drew a hammer on the contract. Kui Shuing is very curious about you. I didn't learn any magic there. Spells and martial arts or something like that. Lin Shuhao said that he has been living in the forest for survival. Kui Shuing sighed and said that in order to survive. You've been hiding in Tibet for the past 10 years, right? To pass through the dimensional portal. We must kill the monsters in that world and take away their dimensional energy. Look at you like this. I must have discovered it while hiding. I was lucky enough to be teleported back when I returned. Lin Shuhao was stunned after hearing the whole story. I have lived in that forest for thousands of years. How could it be that only 10 years have passed? Kui Shuing can't listen anymore. Point to the information and say, it shows that you disappeared in 2015. The portal will return in 2025. Then he handed him the Awakener card. Turn around, open the door and leave. At this time, Lin Shuhao thought to himself, can I ever find my family again? When in another world? He has already thought about it. If I could return to Earth again. Maybe friends and family have disappeared too. He needs to be ready to accept this. Start from scratch. He once fell into deep despair because of this. It's good now. It's only been 10 years. My relatives should all still be there. With this feeling, he checked the information carefully. I found out that my parents had passed away the year the disaster broke out. Only one brother is left alive. So he hurried to find a doctor, begging him to let me go out to see my brother. The doctor felt the strong aura emanating from him. This is the second strong man he has ever seen. Then he promised to let him out. After Lin Shuhao got in the car, he went straight to his brother's address. On the way, he saw reports on the news about monsters appearing in urban areas. That's a character that doesn't matter to him. I hope everyone will avoid risk areas. The Ministry of National Defense dispatched a large number of tanks and aircraft, at the expense of 12 people. Just destroyed this monster. Lin Shuhao is very unfamiliar with this earth. What the hell is going on? It's the same thing. The driver introduced him to him 10 years ago. The door to another world opens all over the world. That day, countless monsters from other worlds came in. 10% of all human beings die. Relying on the advanced weapons of the time, it is no longer possible to stop the invasion of monsters. Then on the day of great change, the person who disappeared suddenly came back. That is the current awakened one. They can organize trade unions after obtaining mercenary certificates. Certificate for hunting in non-reserve or portal areas. After hearing this, Lin Shuhao became interested in this. It didn't take long to arrive near my brother's house. Lin Shuhao got off the car and came to the door of his brother's house. Getting ready to knock on the door, I saw the old lady upstairs and said angrily, "Who are you looking for?" "Looking for Junhao." I heard he was looking for his grandmother. He said angrily that there is no such person here. "You should leave quickly." The old lady upstairs mistakenly thought he was a debtor. Then he drove him away. I learned that my younger brother owed loan sharks. Lin Shuhao wanted to make money. "Come and help your brother fill this hole." He remembered what the driver said in the taxi. The awakened person obtained the mercenary certificate. You can legally hunt monsters to make money. Lin Shuhao then came to the mercenary examination point to register. The staff told him, "You can't take the exam because your level is not high enough. You can go to non-protection first to accumulate points." So Lin Shuhao came to the hall disappointed. Found a reward notice posted here. The reward for hunting a goblin is 500,000 yuans. Lin Shuhao thought to himself that he could only give it a try. Then he took a taxi and drove towards the non-protected area. When I came to the entrance, I was told by the soldiers, "You can't enter without a mercenary certificate." At this time, an out-of-control military vehicle crashed through the guardrail and drove over. The soldier in the car was bitten by the goblin. I'm struggling right now. The car hit me accidentally. At this moment, the car was blocked by soldiers. The crowd gathered around and only heard a bang. Goblin broke the car window and jumped out. The soldiers saw this and hurriedly opened fire. After one round, the goblin will be beaten into a sieve. At this time, Lin Shuhao had already arrived in the non-protected area. He can feel the sound and smell here. In front of you, the once prosperous metropolis has turned into a pile of ruins. It's like the end of the world. Until night falls quietly. Lin Shuhao just started hunting. I saw him sniffing slightly with his nose. I'm sure there's a fight going on not far away. I determined the direction and ran over quickly. What catches the eye? It's actually a group of goblins hunting. A scarred white wolf. Saw Lin Shuhao breaking in. The goblins brandished their weapons, then cut him down. I saw him kill one with one punch. Suddenly, multiple system error instructions popped up around me. Seriously interfered with his vision. At this time, the goblin had already arrived. Lin Shuhao killed 3 of them in an instant with all his strength. The remaining one will run away if something goes wrong. How could Lin Shuhao let go of his prey? Caught him in one big jump. He threw the goblin down with a bang. Instantly hate the northwest. Lin Shuhao looked at the error message issued by the system. Remember when I was in another world. As long as you exercise, your values will increase. Exercise until you reach your physical limit. There are no more notifications about ability improvement. Lin Shuhao was puzzled. After returning to Earth, the system window actually popped up. He guessed. Is it because my abilities have declined? That caused the system error. Suddenly, the system sent a prompt to obtain permission points mall. This was the first time he encountered such a thing. Out of curiosity, he opened the mall. There are only 7 points in it. The only products that can be exchanged are bread and water. It seems that it is because of my weak ability. Then he redeemed it. Water and bread. Lin Shuhao discovered, the white wolf on the side has a cub next to it. Judging from his condition, he will die soon. On the occasion of parting, White Wolf entrusted his cub to Lin Shuhao. Maybe this is fate. Lin Shuhao accepted the cub and gave him bread to eat. Then he counted. A total of 7 digoblins were killed in Shugang. Wait until daybreak. There is a queue of cars at the entrance to the non-protected area. At this time, everyone looked aside. They were surprised to find Lin Shuhao is carrying the monster he hunted last night. Come out from inside. Turn around and come to the registration office. The staff said you hunted 7 goblins this time. Contains 3 bloodstones. Throw away the money to vaccinate your puppy. You earned a total of 2.1 million. Lin Shuhao was very curious about what this bloodstone was. The staff explained. This thing was taken from the goblin. Depending on the amount of energy stored in the bloodstone, the prices are also different. Like this piece is 200,000 yuans. The staff then handed the cash to him and also recognized his strength. Said he can apply for a mercenary certificate. Lin Shuhao looked at the $12. I thought I could earn more by hunting monsters. Wait until you get the mercenary certificate before going hunting in the dungeon. Wouldn't that make more money? My brother has lived in another world for thousands of years. Became the king of the forest. My younger brother owes huge debts. Work every day to pay off debts. I thought the two of them would never meet again. Unexpectedly, the door to the dimensional space suddenly opened. Brother Lin Shuhao. Returning to my long-lost home Earth again. After learning that his brother is still alive, he came to see him without stopping. But the old man told him that his younger brother owed a huge debt. Go out to work, not at home, to make up for the 10 years of lost family ties. My brother decided to rely on hunting monsters to pay off my brother's debt. And younger brother Lin Junhao has just finished his delivery work in the dangerous area. Just when I was getting ready to go home, but he was attacked by someone and knocked to the ground with a stick. Lin Junhao came back to his senses and discovered that I just sneaked into my business. Huang Mao came to collect debt from him. He took a stick and taught Lin Junhao a lesson. Do you know how many trips I made in vain? Lin Junhao knelt on the ground and said, I have been going to non-protected areas to earn money these days. As he said this, he handed over this month's principal and interest. A total of 2.4 million was handed over to him. Unexpectedly, the other party started to find various reasons to increase the price, and said that this amount of money is simply not enough. Tell me what to do. Lin Junhao clenched his fists angrily. But what can I do? He had no choice but to lower his head. Say with tears, I will find a way to pay back the remaining money within 3 days. Huang Mao has to wait 3 days after hearing this. Then he hit the brat again with a stick. Do you know how much the interest is for 3 days? You'd better not pull any tricks this time. Otherwise I will make you look good. Suddenly Lin Junhao was stopped. Turn around and take a look. It turned out to be his long-lost brother Lin Shuhao. At this time, he knelt down and looked at his brother, calling his name. This also reminded Lin Junhao of, I was bullied when I was a child. This brother didn't even pay attention to him when he saw it, turned around and left. His former brother didn't help him at all. Until disaster breaks out, he never thought about his brother's safety. I didn't expect to see my brother again after 10 years. He actually came over to help me teach these bastards a lesson. When I saw this scene, Lin Junhao was completely stunned. He also took the initiative to squat down and ask me about my injuries. Is this still the brother I know? The younger brother saw his elder brother being taught a lesson, angrily kicked Lin Shuhao. But he stood motionless. Then Lin Shuhao suddenly fired. His face broke the opponent's thigh in an instant. The rest of the boys didn't dare to do it again when they saw this situation. Lin Shuhao waved actively. Let the other party come and take the money away. Get out now. Returning to Lin Junhao's home at night, the old lady took a look. Isn't this the young man who came the day before yesterday? How did you bring him back? Lin Junhao explains that he is my brother. Don't worry. Come to the house. My younger brother Lin Junhao introduced this to me as my son Jianyang. Lin Shuhao asked him where the child's mother was. The younger brother said with a slightly solemn expression that he had run away from home. It's all my fault. Look at my brother in pain. Lin Shuhao suggested that we two brothers have a drink. Then at the dinner table, Lin Shuhao asked his brother how much money he owed in total. About 50 million. I have a job now. Income is not low. I believe the money will be paid back soon. Lin Shuhao asked curiously, what kind of job did you find? My younger brother introduced me to a job in logistics and transportation. Because of traveling to and from the remaining cities, there are some dangers in long-distance transportation. But that's exactly what it is. No one wants to see it. The salary will also be higher. Lin Shuhao asked him if it was the truck at the door. Brother said yes. That's the car of the dead landlady's son. He sees me as pitiful, so he lent it to me. At this time Jianyu woke up. Lin Junhao introduced that this is your uncle. Jianyu asked excitedly, can I play with the puppy? Lin Shuhao smiled and nodded. After getting permission, Jianyu hugged him excitedly, started playing with the puppy. At this time Lin Shuhao said, Junhao, let's work together. Just help me transport it with a truck. The younger brother asked curiously, what kind of job is it? Lin Shuhao said seriously, hunting monsters. After getting my brother's approval, Lin Shuhao came to the Hall of Awakeners without stopping. Submit information. The boy who refused to take the mercenary exam just 1 day ago. Just 1 day. The ability has actually improved so much. The staff's attitude towards him immediately changed. The new Awakener information was immediately processed and gave him a mobile phone. The program of the Awakened Administration has already been installed in it, so that he can pay attention to the mercenary exam and hunting related information. And you can also hunt monsters. To accumulate dimensional energy, you can receive bonuses after upgrading your level to level 1. Enjoy various benefits. Now the level of Lingshu is small, but he believes that he can definitely return to his peak. After going out, he then set off towards the non-protected area in Nanyang City. At this time, the entrance was full of motorcades. In one of the cars, sitting there are a group of newly awakened boys and girls. Because it's the first time I'm on a mission, feeling very nervous. The vice captain comforted them not to be nervous. You're all awake, what are you afraid of? Just pass this dungeon mission. You can officially join Zingo Guild's attack team. This is the 10,000 reasons in the captain's heart. Obviously a group of guys without strength. In order to get the bonus from the Awakener subsidy, relying on the relationship between parents, use the back door to squeeze in and watch their performance. Another bunch of trash. At this time, Lin Shuhao had already arrived at the checkpoint. After identity scan, he can then walk inside. At this time, the team leader noticed he didn't even bring any weapons or equipment. Still alone. Either he's a fool or he's hiding something big. After passing the checkpoint, The squad leader asked his men to step on the accelerator and catch up. No matter how fast he goes. Wait until they exit the tunnel. Only to find that the person has disappeared. He feels that this person is unusual. In fact, Lin Shuhao is just a simple acceleration. I threw them thousands of miles away. But after a while he started to gasp for breath. Check the status again. He found that he was indeed confused. Looks like we have to start training again. At this time, he heard the sound of arrows not far away. Follow the sound. He found a group of green-clad teams below. Being besieged by a group of people, after looking at it for a while, I found them talking nonsense. No intention of taking action. Just about to turn around and leave, suddenly got out of a pickup truck and moved. Turns out to be a C-class awakener with a bounty of 40 million. Kuijushi and Lin Shuhao heard that there was a reward. Then he jumped down directly from above. Joined the fray. Kuijushi looked dumbfounded. He laughed loudly and said that there is a road to heaven, but if you don't take it, there is no door to hell, you cross the river. Then his eyes showed murderous intent. Lin Shuhao was restrained and unable to move. Kuijushi said, "Just stare into my eyes for more than 5 seconds. We'll be bound." At this point he ordered his men to beat him up. Just as the younger brothers were walking towards him waving their swords, an accident happened. I saw Lin Shuhao's fist moving at a speed visible to the naked eye. He punched Kuijushi in the face. Lin Shuhao laughed at him. "Is this magic?" "That's funny." He stretched out his fist and punched again. Kuijushi hurriedly used his restraint ability again. Lin Shuhao couldn't move. Finally he seized the opportunity. Squat down. He took out his short knife and was about to stab Lin Shuhao. Suddenly bang. It turns out that it was Lin Shuhao who released the restraints. A plane hit him in the face. As he said that, he stretched out his fist and hit him again. When flying away, he hurriedly released the restraints again. But it didn't work this time. Got a solid punch. Then he punched him in different parts. Then he grabbed his collar and threw it away. The rescued green team. Everyone is surprised by Lin Shuhao's ability. How could he kill Kuijushi so easily? Seeing that my boss was killed. The younger brothers have no intention of resisting anymore. They all knelt down and begged for mercy. Lin Shuhao asked how much your bounty is. The younger brothers shook their heads. Said he had no bounty. And he did it under the coercion of Kuijushi. Seeing these guys being sentenced so quickly, Kuijushi was also extremely angry. Then he saw that these guys couldn't exchange money either, and prepared to let them go. The captain in green reminded them that they were lying. These people are all criminals. You can definitely get some bounty money if you take it there. I heard someone expose them. One by one, extremely desperate, they were all pleading with Lin Shuhao to let him go. At this time, Kuijushi said, "This is the real place of freedom. I can make you live like a king." Look how impatient he is. Lin Shuhao knocked him unconscious with one kick. Brothers, look at this situation. Don't dare to say anything anymore. I'm afraid that I will end up like this too. The rescued green team repays the favor. Decided to drive these criminals away. Go with Lin Shuhao in exchange for the bounty. In communication on the road, Lin Shuhao learned that they actually had 3 skills. They are swordsmanship, tracking, and exploration. The squad leader told him, except swordsmanship is an awakening skill. The other 2 can be learned from the skill manual. When Lin Shuhao thought of the drama just now, released restraint skills. It seems that I need to master a combat skill. Suddenly he saw a teleportation port ahead of him. The team leader said awkwardly that it was a first level place. In the end, that was our destination as well. Lin Shuhao sighed. It's a pity that I'm so angry. It would be nice if I had a mercenary certificate. The team leader was very surprised when he heard this. Do you think you are so powerful and don't have a mercenary certificate? Lin Shuhao nodded shyly. The captain thought, a novice who has never been to a level 1 dungeon. He actually has the strength to defeat the C-level Kuijushi. With questions in mind, the squad leader asked, what is your level? Subsequently, Lin Shuhao wanted to ask them to take him to the dungeon. The other side, team leader Zhang from the New Song Guild just came out of the dungeon. Just a look of disapproval, because all the newcomers he leads are the second generation of rich people. He complained, anyone with a little money at home can wake up. What's even more funny is, this new group of people just have to slaughter animals. Just use a knife to stab the monster you captured in advance. Later, you can even rely on hiring mercenaries. Come and take them all the way to upgrade. Wait until they actually join the guild. He was exposed as soon as he went on a mission. When you see a monster, shoot it in the head. The team will also suffer heavy losses due to their cowardice. This kind of thing is not uncommon. But we can't cut off this damn social network. Just when he was about to go back with the deputy captain. But I found a lot of people coming in front of me. I'll find out when I ask. Someone caught 10 looters. It also includes a C-level awakener. And those who caught them. He's actually an F-class rookie who doesn't even have a mercenary certificate. The team leader was very surprised. How can this be? David Zhang said that I didn't quite believe it either. Audible eyewitness accounts. He was Kuijushi who defeated him with his bare hands. And when I brought it here, he had multiple fractures all over his body. Team leader Zhang suddenly remembered. The mysterious man we met at the checkpoint. It must be him. Then he hurriedly asked who David Zhang was. Where are you now? Just entered the portal. Team leader Zhang hurriedly turned around and ran towards the transfer port. He wanted to witness it for himself. If it were possible for the strong man, he will try his best, winning him over to his union. And at this time, our protagonist Lin Shuhao has just entered the dungeon. Traveling through the portal for the second time, I didn't expect that the clothes were not damaged. The squad leader introduced him. If it is not a matter containing dimensional energy, can't pass through the portal. And this dress, it is processed from materials in the dungeon. Although it doesn't look special, but the price is more than 2 million. Suddenly the entrance to the dungeon is closed. The squad leader introduced him. It will restart again after the task is completed. Lin Shuhao asked, do you want to kill all the monsters inside? The team leader said that was not necessary. You only need to deal with the strongest person here. Then Lin Shuhao stretched out his arms. Said you were waiting here. I'm going to save. Before the squad leader could ask clearly, Lin Shuhao suddenly kicked the ground and ran away. It was only then that the team leader remembered. If he completes the task quickly, there is a time limit for opening the teleport port. He won't be able to find the exit by then. That's all I can think of. He hurriedly chased after him. At this time, goblins patrolling in the forest suddenly heard a noise. Before they could react, just the footprints of Lin Shuhao's 3 strikes and 5 divided by 2. Then he picked up the fallen weapon and started cutting. I didn't expect that it only took 3 goblins to have a bloody effect. Lin Shuhao checks the status bar. I found that I had upgraded. The squad leader who followed later found a bunch of dead goblins. This also made him admire Lin Shuhao's strength even more. Then he activated his tracking skills to continue searching. As for Lin Shuhao, he relies on hunting monsters. The points have reached 102. He thought that he should buy skills first. There are 2 skills here. They are 2 tame beasts and summon tree spirits. Just when he decided, when choosing to tame a beast, suddenly 2 goblins jumped out from above. Aiming at Lin Shuhao, they are a group of people. After falling to the ground, he hit Goblin again. Harvest instantly. At this time the points reached 545. The level has also been improved. Suddenly the system pops up a fatal error message. Data conflict. Additional synchronization to the limit. Lin Shuhao suddenly discovered, my ability value can actually be improved normally. At this time Lin Shuhao discovered, a few goblins I just killed. It added a lot of points to him. Then he spent 100 points to activate Summon Dryad. At his call, a mini version of the tree branch elf appears. At this time, Lin Shuhao discovered that this was not in another world. What are the special fireflies in the forest? Then he was arranged to find the remaining goblins. Lin Shuhao sensed, Dryads rely on reading the memories of trees and grass. Then send the image back to Lin Shuhao's mind. But because his level is lower, it will also take longer. While waiting, Lin Shuhao unlocked more skills, exploration and tracking. I saw him gently pressing his hand on the ground. Exploration skill activated. The nearby topography emerged in his mind. A real radar. Then I tried the tracking skills. He found that there was no useful information. At this time, Lin Shuhao suddenly heard the cry of goblins nearby. Walk listening to the sound. He found the squad leader who was supposed to be waiting for him at the door. He's actually fighting a goblin. And things look pretty bad. Lin Shuhao jumped up. Then he kicked the goblin away. After getting up, the goblin took a stance. Before he could react, he was kicked down by Lin Shuhao, who suddenly appeared. The body flew backwards for 100 meters. Even the heavy rocks were hit with big holes. At this time, the goblin was already scarred. Lin Shuhao saw the right time. Jump up. The rotating knife pierced directly into the goblin fortress scene. Successful harvest. The system sends an upgrade prompt, and the points increased 120 times. It seems that this is the strongest person in this dungeon. Lin Shuhao asked, will the door open now? The team leader calmed down and said, yes, that's right. Get out of the dungeon. People who stay here. At the beginning, Lin Shuhao came out. He immediately informed team leader Zhang of the news. Soon the two met each other. Team leader Zhang took out his trade union business card. Want to invite Lin Shuhao to come to their place. He promises to provide the best growing environment. Unfortunately, he was rejected by Lin Shuhao on the spot. Captain Zhang wondered whether he was dissatisfied with this arrangement. I still want to raise my worth a little bit more. Brighten us up. Subsequently, team leader Zhang asked if you already belong to a labor union. Then we can formally invite you. Lin Shuhao said that was not necessary. Because I don't want to work under someone else. Team leader Zhang was also surprised after hearing this. A newcomer has such courage. Could it be that he? After the conversation, Lin Shuhao goes to find his younger brother, directly handed over 50 million to him. Tell him to return the money quickly. My brother was so excited that he didn't even know how to express his gratitude. Wait for the sun to go down. My brother just came back, just when Jianyu ran over to say hello to his father, but found that he was bleeding all over. Then he fell down.